Well, cool. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. We started this journey with one thought in mind, and that's okay. We had a million thoughts, but I feel like it always kind of came back to music in the first place. So I feel like it's good to be back talking about music.
Absolutely, baby. It feels really good to be back. It's not only to be back, but like you said, to be talking about music because that's kind of what I kind of was thinking about this morning too. I was watching a video, and it's crazy how the music has such an impact on people. And like obviously, like a lot of things you see online are either curated, or like when you see one of those videos where it's like, oh, a guy playing a piano and, oh, can we play with you, right? Like that's probably orchestrated, right? But it is interesting to see how even a video like that, or even like a moment like that, can touch people's lives, and how music kind of brings us all together. And almost like, and I'm not the kind of dude that like tears up all the time or anything like that, but like it almost kind of brought me to tears this morning watching that video. Because it was, I saw the happiness that it was bringing to people. And I mean, and it was a song that I like too. It was a classical song. I kind of grew up with a lot of different music influences, and my dad would play Vivaldi pretty often. And I kind of gained not only my own love for Vivaldi, but like a love through my relationship with him. um for Vivaldi and like the Four Seasons. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's like the um I can I don't I'm not even gonna try to injustice it and like try to portray it. But like they were playing a Vivaldi Four Seasons song, and he was playing it in an airport. It's like that same airport that you see on all those videos of the guy playing the
Right.
piano. And these two girls come up, say, can we, and they were probably like 8 or 9, and they were like, can we play with you? And it's like two violinists. And he was like, of course. And they were like, do you know Vivaldi Four Seasons? And he started playing Winter from Four Seasons. And they just, man, they tore it up, and it was awesome. But I was like, this is definitely orchestrated. But like seeing the joy that it brought to people, and like the smile on everybody's faces, and like the way it made me feel too a little bit, I was like, man, this is crazy how impactful music is, and how like strong of an expression music is. And I feel like music really could save the world, honestly. Like, and I mean, everybody's been trying to do that, right? Ever since like Bob Marley, and even though even Smash Mouth, right? Like everybody in every genre, I feel like, has been trying to save the world. Well, most people, I feel some people don't, but like I feel like most people are either just trying to express their self, or just connect with humanity. And if you want to get on like the Tom DeLonge train, like the greater conscious. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But yeah, I'm really excited to be doing this, and to be not only doing it, but doing it with my best friend. And like it's kind of cool because these are just kind of conversations that we have all the time, right? Like how many times have we been on the phone and been like, we should have just recorded this phone call, right? Like,
Indeed. I feel like even just like the other day when we were talking about going to that show that we're gonna get ready to go to, Day to Remember and Yellow Card. You have to remind me, bro. Who's the other two bands? Do you remember off the top of your head who other two bands are playing there?
oh,
State
you would
Champs,
ask,
right? Is one
yeah,
of them, right?
state champs, and I can't remember who the opening. Well, I think it was one or the other. I don't think they were both playing. I think it was like
Oh, it's a one or other. Got it.
some shows are state champs, and some shows are whoever the other band is. I can't remember, and I feel bad
Do,
because I'm not giving them credit, but
do you know if it's State Champs the one that we're going to?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I got excited and I saw that it was state champs.
I hope
So
so.
I'm
No,
gonna
no
cross my
offense, no offense to the other band, but I don't know you, and I got stoked when I saw State Champs was on the lineup. I didn't even
Indeed.
know that they were coming. You know what I mean?
Indeed. Well, and this is going to be one of the ones too where like typically I don't want to out us or anything, but we don't typically see the opening act, right? So I think this is going to be one of the ones where we kind of have to like go extra early
This
to
was a
to make
mistake.
sure we catch the full set.
They're gonna find too much about me, fam. On this, they're gonna find out too much about me
They're
for
gonna
real.
find too much to be like, oh, he really doesn't support underground.
Not at the big shows. I'm not gonna lie. At the big shows,
Indeed.
guys, I can't be doing it, fam. I can't be doing it.
Indeed.
Um,
Well, we got burned with the Kaiser Chiefs at that Green Day show all those years ago, and it just kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, baby.
yeah. Shout out to the Kaiser Chiefs for
Kaiser Chiefs.
It's one of those things that, like, I couldn't stand Sex on Fire, Your Sex is on Fire, the Kings of
Mm.
Leon, Day
Mhm.
and Age. I couldn't. I mean, no, it's no offense to that band. It's just not my bag, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just not for me. And the
Yeah.
Kaiser Chiefs definitely
Yeah.
seemed like a knockoff version of that. And again,
Indeed.
I hate comparing bands to each other, but it's all I could think of when they were playing the
Indeed.
whole time was like, this just sounds like the other version of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
into it. I wasn't into
Indeed.
the big version of that. I don't want to see the other version of it either.
Well, especially since we were there to see the Green Day in,
Such a
the
different vibe too. Yeah, I was
21st
like, it's
century
not even the
breakdown
same kind of
time.
vibe.
Yeah, it was a 21st century breakdown era, so it was very different.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like I'm the guy who I don't care really kind of what style you have. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, I because I like I like so much stuff. But
Yeah.
when you were like, I feel like it was just so far different from what Green Day was. Does that make sense?
Indeed.
And I
Indeed.
feel
Well,
like they've done that with other acts too, but at the same
mhm.
time, it didn't feel as, I don't know, just it felt like it flowed better. Does that make sense? I've been to other Green Day
Absolutely.
shows where the lineup was a little bit more of like, it seems more in line with all of it, and that's the
Absolutely.
only one that I could really think of off the top of my head where I was like, this just seemed like a huge miss to me.
Yeah, I don't think I've really been, and I mean, I've been to a bunch of shows, not as many as you have, but I've been to a bunch of shows too, and I don't think I've seen another miss like that really, especially with Green Day. I don't think I've seen another miss like that. Which was interesting. I wonder if like there was some sort of a deal, or maybe they went to like a Kaiser Chief show and liked them or something maybe. But I think also that was, we were 19 and 20 right back then too. So like I think, and you were even saying on one of your streams the other day that you've matured in your concert going um you know um era
Expectations,
expectations,
yeah.
exactly. So I think it's I mean, look at what we're doing on the 17th. Like we're going to the pit, like, and when have you been the pit guy, right? So
Not
it's
really
gonna,
ever.
not really ever,
As
not
much as
really
I keep
ever.
saying get that pick going, you know what I mean? I've never been the pick guy.
Right, right. Oh, and it's gonna be a day to remember. It's gonna get rowdy.
I know. I feel like the yellow card part of it is going to be. It almost comes across like to me in my mind, it almost feels like it's going to be like sunshine and rainbows that's dancing in a circle,
Everybody's gonna be
versus
hugging
like
each other and
right. It's going to be.
there's
I
gonna be little
almost feels like two
powwows,
different kind of
campfires.
vibes in the pit. I'm ready for it, man. Like I said,
Yeah.
like you mentioned earlier, like I go to a lot of shows, and the majority of the ones that I go to are like, you know, like small venues. You know what I mean? I try to
Yeah.
go to as many shows as I can. So I'm like, I like to go to, I don't want to say necessarily the cheapest shows that I can get out to, but the shows with smaller crowds with like more, lesser known artists, if that makes any sense.
Well,
So
it's more intimate that way too, and like you get to see an artist at their beginning. Like and I know exactly what you mean, because I mean this will be the third time I think seeing Yellow Card for me now. And I was telling you the other day, I've seen them in two different styles. I've seen them in the really tiny venue in Denver, and I've seen them in the really big, the stadium era too as well. So I'm excited to see them for your first time too in live seeing Yellow Card, but it's going to be interesting seeing them when they're touring with A Day to Remember, because like A Day to Remember brings huge crowds too, right? So this will probably be the biggest crowd I've seen seeing Yellow Card. So it'll be interesting seeing them. I mean, I've seen Green Day in the different perspectives too, in the in the big shows, and then when they were coming back out after the whole iHeartRadio thing with Billy Joe back in 2012. I think it was 2012. And then we're coming back. They had canceled the tour, and then when they were coming back out on tour, they played like three or four small venues, tiny venues, and the one I saw them at, and I lived in Las Cruces, New Mexico at the time, and the one was in El Paso, and I was like, get out of here, like that's 40 minutes away. I'm definitely going to this. And it was this tiny little place called Tricky Falls. Shout out Tricky Falls in El Paso. Dope show, so cool. Had my Billy Joe moment, right? Like
you
that
gotta
was
tell the
that
people,
was
you gotta tell your people about the Billy Joe moment. You can't bring it up and not
so
tell the people about the Billy Joe moment.
so my Billy Joe moment was, Green Day's, obviously one of my, which side is it on? Green Day is one of my, one of my favorites. I got the Billy
Oh, he's breaking it all out today.
the tray, and the mic, right, and the little heart grenade. Yeah, so I'm a pretty I would say a pretty substantial Green Day fan. I'm one of their top followers on Facebook apparently.
He got the accolades to prove it, baby. Is
But
Green Day always in your top listened artists on Spotify? Is that always in your always in your top 5?
Always in my top 5. Always in my top 5. It's usually them. The staples are Green Day, which is such a such a vast. It's usually Green Day, Angels and Airwaves, and A Day to Remember are the top 3, and then Yellow Card. Those are the 4, and then the 5th one kind of changes. The sometimes it's Blink 182, sometimes it's like an off, like a crazy off band. Like I was saying the other day, like I was like in the top 0.0000005% of listeners for this song called Trunk Run last year on Spotify. So it's the fifth spot usually changes, but it's like the 4, usually it's the 4 staples that are pretty solid usually every year, every wrap up is what, or is that what they call it, Spotify wrapped, I think, or whatever. But yeah, so my Billie Joe moment. They were 40 minutes away. I was like, man, this is gonna be, I'm gonna see Billie Joe, and I'm gonna see Green Day because I'd seen them in the stadium already in DC back in 2009. And this was like their big coming back moment because they're only doing 4 little intimate shows, and then they're doing the stadiums again. They're just trying to warm up and get back on the road. But it was cool because I got to see Billie Joe when he played X Kid, like for one of the first times in a show experience, and like he started tearing up, and that's so cool because you get to see that true connection that they have with that music, like that. And it was still raw, it was still new, it was still like he was coming off of like, kind of hurting some of the people that he loved, and he was trying to get back in the saddle again. So just getting to experience that raw moment. But the coolest part about the whole show, and this is my Billie Joe moment, was they were in El Paso, and
you gotta tell him, fam. You gotta tell him what happened when you first got there, and like I said, I remember this story like it was yesterday. So when you got to the venue and they opened the doors, what did you do? What did you do, fam?
So I got there and I'm driving around the block and I'm like, oh my God, I'm here like 4 hours earlier for the show and the line is already wrapped all the way around the building. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm going to be in the back. So I'm standing in line, and it's me, one of my friends about my age, and then a lady that had worked with me, and she was probably in her she was probably in her 50s at the time, maybe 40s or early 50s at the time. And dude, I have never seen somebody that age like party as hard as she did. She was she was crowd surfing and stuff, dude. Like I was like protecting her at first, and then she was like running the pit, and I was like, okay.
I love people that let loose at concerts. I love it. Awesome. It's if that's your moment where you get to dress up and you're gonna go crazy that night. I love it. I love
to be whoever you want to be in that moment, right? Exactly. Yes, you get to be that ultimate. I love this, right? Experience that and that true joy and emotion. It's incredible, and seeing her do that really, I don't know, it made me happy too, because I was like, man, I was like, I hope she enjoys this show, and she was having, I feel like, more fun than I did. But yeah, so we're standing, we get there, we park. It's downtown El Paso, so it's really crammed. We parked down the ways a bit, and we came up and we're standing in line. And this person from the venue is coming around, and they're like yelling at everybody, and I'm like, what's going on up there? And they're like, oh, is anybody a part of the idiot club? Anybody a part of the idiot club? Like going down the line asking everybody, and everybody's kind of like looking at like, what is an idiot club? What is that? And I'm like,
he said, me?
I'm a part of the idiot club. I got the 3 tickets that literally say in big bold letters idiot club on them. And she was like, come with me. And I'm like, where are we going? So she takes us, and we're walking past all these people around the block, like all these people that I saw standing there. And I'm like, what could possibly be going on right now. And she takes us right to the very front of the line, the very first three people in the venue. And I'm like standing there at the door, and I'm like, this can't be real. This is it's one of those moments, it's like a dream. Like this cannot actually be happening right now. Like there's no way that this is real. They're gonna come out and say, like, get out of here, you're not supposed to be here. Like something's gonna happen.
Don't want to be an American idiot. You can't watch the concert now. You know what I mean? Like,
watch the concert now. You really are an American idiot.
Idiot club. Idiot club.
They are in the idiot club.
You thought we was gonna bring you to the front of the line and let you see the show? Man, come on now.
It was coming in the front, stupid.
Oh man.
Oh,
you really are as dumb from Anaheim to the Middle East, I tell you. Let me tell you.
Right. Oh man.
So they bring you to the front. They bring you to the front of the line. You're in complete shock here.
Yeah.
Because I just know you, right? I just know you where you're like, what the fuck is happening? Because I know sometimes it takes you a little moment to process it all. And that's one of my favorite things about you, fam. It's like I love like watching you because you're just like me. Like you just kind of like get all stone faced. And like you can just see the wheels turning in the brain, and you're just like, what is happening right now?
And I'm like psycho analyzing every single thing that's happening, right? Like watching for like mannerism cues to like, when is this gonna end, right? Like,
right, you're waiting for the bad thing to happen because that's normally the next thing that happens. Is right, it's like, okay, where's the bad news? So you're there, you're front of the line, you're the first three people in line. What happens now?
Online. So they go to scan my tickets, and I scan them, and then they start putting. And still at this point, I'm like, "There's no way it's going to actually happen. Like something's gonna happen." They're putting the wristband on me, right? They check my ID, make sure I'm 21. They put my wristband on, and I'm like, "Okay, well." And they open the doors, and I start walking in, and dude, I'm running. I'm like bolting. I'm like, I gotta get to the very front, and I'm like looking around. And I'm like, why am I running? There's nobody in here. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. I was like, maybe they'll let the early access people in first, and they'll be in the front in the pit, and I'll be kind of like back, but at least I'll be the front of the general admission, right? Nah, fam, I was the first one in there. I was like, this is crazy.
I love this story so much because, like I said, you're the first person in the door, and you still ran to the front. Where you're just like as if there was a chance that somebody was going to come and like tackle you out of the way. You know what I mean?
Well, that was the problem too. That's kind of another thing that stopped me is like when you're running in an empty room like that, like, and it's like the complete empty. I'm just like, am I actually supposed to be in here? Am I going the right direction? Like, is somebody gonna come tackle me?
You're going to the wrong stage. Like Green Day's not even performing at that stage. They're over there, and you don't even know it. You know what I mean?
I don't even know it. So I'm running in, and I have the moment. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, I could just walk right up to the rail, and it was such a small venue that they were trying to cram as many people in there before they started the show, before they even started like the opening act. They were like, they literally came out and said, we want everybody, which I gained a lot. I mean, I already had a ton of respect for them, but I gained a lot more respect that day because they said, we want everybody to be able to experience the same show. So we're going to wait till everybody that bought a ticket gets in here so everybody can experience the same show. And I was like, that is incredible, right? Like man, that's the kind of love in the music industry that I feel like everybody needs. Like that's the kind of like let's save the world through like hope, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of like, let's be genuinely good to each other type stuff.
Well, that's one thing I've always felt at Green Day shows too, for sure, is like this sense of togetherness despite everybody's differences. We were talking about this the other day too, when we were talking about, just the difference in going to like Green Day shows versus like, just some other acts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where, we were talking about how at a Green Day show, if you're talking, let's just say 10,000 people, right? Or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what the real number is, but let's just say 10,000 as an example at a show. you know 2,000 of those people are people that you would never fuck with. You know what I mean? Like, you would never talk to them. You hate their personality. You can't stand them. But they probably love Green Day just as much as you do.
Probably.
And in a lot of cases, we can all put those differences aside. It's a lot different, obviously, if we're talking about 10,000 people, for all those differences to be put aside. But that is the wonderful thing, like, again, about those experiences, is like where their atmosphere for their shows always feels like positive energy. You know what I mean? Despite,
absolutely.
And people will say, oh yeah, Billy Joe gets on there and he'll get political and stuff like that. But, that's one thing he's definitely passionate about, and he definitely will get up there and say his piece. But it's not something that just takes up the entire show. It's even if what he's saying bothers people, it's quick and in a moment. It's not really this long exaggerated thing like a lot of people have made it out to be. We're like, oh, all he does is just get up there and be political for 2 hours. I'm like, no, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, he really doesn't. So when the songs are about certain subjects, he is going to dive and kind of make those anecdotes and equations. But again, the overall messages and the atmosphere, I think, is more about unity and positivity than it is about any kind of negativity.
Indeed. And I think just caring about people, like, and caring about, obviously uses a lot of current events and things like that. And he'll like change even some of the words and the lyrics up in some of the songs to reflect current events and things like that. But I think you're 100% right. I think he does just enough. And I think he uses his platform to kind of push what he's passionate about. Right. Which how couldn't you? Right. And at the end of the day, that's almost like ultimate punk rock. Right. Like you're kind of bucking the establishment. You're pushing what, how you feel about things, and like kind of against the machine. Right. So like I've always respected that. I mean, the very first album, was that I ever heard was American Idiot. And then, I kind of fell in love with them after that. But kind of hearing that that kind of the sentiments that were on that American Idiot album, and kind of identifying with a lot of that. And then plus those riffs just go hard. They're so sick. Like that, the way that they tuned the guitars and the distortion on that album is so unlike anything you hear from anybody else, and anything else, even from their own albums, different. Like you got the American Idiot flag right there, right? So it's just it's iconic. And that's really what made me fall in love with them. And plus playing a lot of Tony Hawk's American Wasteland back in the day with the Holiday on the soundtrack. And it's funny because I actually went in and like unclicked all the other songs on that one and just left Holiday, so it was just like 24/7 playing Holiday.
I'm telling y'all, I've lived with this man. I know what he's talking about. And when he was in this phase of his life, he really was just listening to Holiday like on repeat. Playing that game for hours just on Holiday the whole time. On Holiday the whole time. He is not even fucking around with that. I remember that shit. I remember that. I do remember that.
That's how much of an impact that was, because like, you remember it.
Yeah, because I remember you explaining it to me too. We were like, I actually went through and like just took everything off so that way it only plays Holiday. And I was like, I think I would get sick of it, but I was like, because I'm pretty repetitive too, where I'm like, I'll listen to songs to death. But never in a way like that you had with that game, though. You know what I mean? Where I was like, you really play the song to death. And then, I teased you a lot because I feel like, you don't go, I don't want to say, you don't really search out a lot of new music a lot. You're very one of those people that like, once you find music, it stays with you. Like, you don't really kind of use it and move on. So like, just the way that you... Like I said, I tease you because you don't look for a lot of new music when I'm the guy who is like constantly looking for new. You know what I mean?
And I'm constantly reaching back, right? And I'm constantly like pulling keeping the old stuff alive, right? So
well, I mean, even so much to like the fact that we're going to this concert, right? Like I don't, when I've seen A Day to Remember perform, I've seen them 3 times now.
Yeah, we saw them together in Hershey that one time too.
We did. I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about like opening acts and being different from other ones and stuff like that. When we saw A Day to Remember and then All Time Low.
Right.
And then Blink-182. Yeah. You want to talk about a lot of people did not know who A Day to Remember was at that show?
Mm-hmm.
What the thing that's so crazy about that whole thing too, because there's like two specific memories that jump out in my mind, and at that particular concert, it's not even All Time Low, and it's not even Blink. You know what I mean? Because I've seen both of them a few times too. So, but when it came to A Day to Remember and seeing them for the first time, the two things that stuck out to me the most was one, in Hershey Park Stadium. In a like a football field size stadium kind of set up.
Yeah,
with the bleacher, it's a
big. They do play football there, don't they? Like that's their.
I think they do play some football there at some points of the year, right? So, a big size little stadium.
Yeah,
lots of people. That's a big show when you go to the Hershey Park. Indeed. What are the fucking chances, fam, that where we bought tickets, my literal blood cousin. Right behind us.
Right behind us.
Literally the two seats behind us, her and her friend.
Oh,
that entire gigantic place where we get to our seats and we look down and I'm like, holy fuck.
Like wait.
What are the chances? I didn't even know, one, that you'd even come to something like this.
Right.
And two, how are we like right next to each other? That was one that's so crazy.
Yeah, and she got to watch us jam all the way out.
Yes, that was point two, was how much me and you were rocking the fuck out when everybody else was like, what are these guys? This is a little heavy. It's a little heavy. I came here to see Alex and All Time Low. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like,
I came here to see Tom tell dick jokes. I didn't know I was going to yell, scream that.
They said break your fucking neck a couple times. Like, it was crazy.
He's talking about breaking people's legs with tire irons.
Oh my God. Like I said, they're one of those bands where I loved them so much before I ever saw them live.
Yes.
And so like seeing them live and seeing them not play to their crowd.
Yeah.
But for like the two of us who loved them so much, like did not give a fuck, and the other fans that were there that none of us gave a fuck. If you were there and you liked Day to Remember, like you did not give a shit. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
And we were like, we are here to rock the fuck out, and we're gonna do it for each set that like it was. You know what I mean?
Yep. We're gonna have our fun, bro. Like we're gonna enjoy this for what it is because we love these guys, right?
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little disappointed in my cousin though, because we showed her this is what you're supposed to do when your band comes on, and she kind of just was like, just enjoying herself. It's okay.
Bebopping.
It's all right. It's all right. Not everybody can rock the fuck out, but
she was probably just trying to put on for a friend, right? Like,
I know. You know what I mean. Some friends be holding you back from having fun. You know what I mean?
They do. They really do.
But anyway, I was over here trying to make a point about going to these legacy acts, but shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, I don't normally go see a lot of bands that have been playing for 20 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe once or twice a year, I'll go and watch like tours like that. Like somebody asked me if I was going to go see My Chem. You know what I mean? And I was like, there's no way I'm going to go see My Chem. Well, one, I have seen them before, and it was fire. Mm-hmm. But my God, those tickets for Wells Fargo, baby? Ay.
Crazy.
They're crazy money to go see that shit.
Well, have you seen what they're doing? Like, have you watched any videos or snippets from like the...
It's like a whole damn
theatrical performance. Yeah, it's like a theatrical play, like a performance that they're doing, and like the whole thing, and it's interesting. I knew somebody, and this was years ago, but I knew somebody that was in a small time local band that won like a Battle of the Bands or something like that, and they actually went on Warped Tour. And then they went on a small opening tour for My Chemical Romance. And this was, like I said, years and years ago. And they were talking about how, like, Gerard was kind of an ass to them. But, like, it's interesting because, like, everything I've ever seen, and like, especially, like, watching these performances that he's doing right now, it's like I can't see it. I can't see it in him. You know what I mean? And like I've seen him with like interviews and stuff. Yeah, he's kind of quiet, more reserved, more shy. But I don't think I could ever see him being that way to somebody. But it was just interesting, like hearing somebody. But it's funny because thinking about it too now from the person that it came from kind of makes sense because I didn't really like that person. So right? it kind of checks out. It kind of checks out. But it's wild how easily, somebody's opinion can be influenced, or like, somebody spreading a rumor like that could, like, change somebody's complete perspective until you see it for yourself, right? Like, um, yeah, it's wild. Wild how somebody could say one thing and like, oh well, I have this clout behind this, and this is what I'm saying. But then you almost have to look at it yourself and not take people, um, you know, at their perspective. You got to almost gain your own perspective. And I mean, I think that kind of like boils down to music, and I could think that kind of boils down to a little bit too to like what you and um, Love Ghost were talking about on your interview the other day, where it's music is for your own interpretation, and when kind of it's for people to kind of take it how they want and how they feel and how it makes them feel. And it's you at the end of the day, it's the artist putting themselves out there, but also it's the listener and the fan kind of taking it for themselves, and reveling in how it makes them feel, too. So I think a big part of music is just kind of gaining your own perspective on it, and how you love it in certain ways. Kind of like you said earlier too. If you went to a Green Day show with 20,000 other people, are you going to like everybody that's there? Probably not. Are you going to have the same perspective on the music that everybody has there? Probably not. Does it mean that you can't hang out for an hour and a half show and like just have a good time? Absolutely, right? You know what I mean?
No, I definitely for sure, man. Like I'm one of those people where I try to like enjoy myself, but I'm always very conscious and probably a little self conscious of not trying to ruin other people's experiences at the same time. And
Right.
so I feel like there's also kind of a little bit of a fine line with that sometimes too. And I feel like that's just kind of just being situationally aware of your surroundings. We have taken the longest route to get through this Billy Joe story. We have
Yeah.
reached the point where you were a member of the idiot club. You got to get brought
Yes.
to the front of the line,
Yes.
and you open the door. They open the door. You ran to the front. You're on the guardrail. The show is now happening.
Indeed. So all the side quests leading up to the finalization of the Billy Joe moment. So I get up there, I'm at the rail, and it's taking a lot more time. The show, they kept pushing back the start of the show, and they kept coming out saying, hey, we're not gonna start until everybody's in here. We're just trying to, out of respect for all the fans, we want to make sure everybody see the same show. And they just kept on coming out and saying that, and saying that, and saying that, and saying that. We're still gonna, we're still waiting for people to come in. We're still waiting for people to come in. So, and it was a pretty long time, and it was a little hot in there too. And you know how I am. I'm a little hot blooded, so I don't really like, it's uncomfortable when it gets too hot, right? And it was pretty toasty because it's El Paso, right? So it's a little toasty in there. And you're crammed up with everybody at the rail, which is wild too, because like in that small venue, I've never felt. I mean, I've been rail on a couple other shows, but like, I've never felt such a crazy moment where there was as soon as Green Day came out, like there was a whole shove from the entire audience forward. Like it was nuts, dude. And I mean, there was an opener, and like that's the other thing too, is like that's the other cool thing I respected about the band is like not only were they waiting for people to come in, but like the sound check guys and like some of the which was also really cool. Some of the guys that run the backstage stuff for Green Day, like the sound guys and the guys, the guitar techs and stuff, and also Jason White and Jason Freeze came out and they were like, well, we have a little band that we kind of like do small time stuff with, and we're gonna, since we're waiting, since the opener is not even gonna play because everybody gets to see the same show, we will play entertaining everybody until we can get everybody in, and then the opener can start, and then Green Day will go. Which I was like, man, that is so cool. Like, when have they ever? That is probably the only show that they've ever done that at, right? Like of a Green Day show, like with Jason White, Jason Freeze, and then like the guitar techs and all these guys. And that was kind of like back in the era too, when people didn't really know who Jason White or Jason Freeze was. So it was really cool getting to see that. And like I don't know, it was a unique experience. But then so they played. Finally, everybody got in, and then it was a local person that was opening up, which was really cool. They played kind of like Oh, kind of like a set, almost like if oh, what's the band I'm thinking of? The guys who play Knee Socks. I love this band too.
Arctic
Um
Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys. It was kind of like if Arctic Monkeys was a one man band. Like that's what this guy was kind of doing, which was pretty cool. Just cool vibes going into it. And then, even at that point, right, my mind is still going, this is impossible. Right? Like, this is not gonna be how it is. And I'm at the rail, watching it happen, and I'm like, this is cool. And like the opener goes off, and then the thing goes dark, and I'm still and there's and like, I say the rail, like there's inches from the stage, like at this venue, there's no like security guards in the front, like they're off to the side, like you're like up at the stage, like you are right there. And I'm still thinking, like, and the music comes on, and then here out comes Billy Joe live in the flesh, like 3 feet from my face. Crazy, insane, such an insane moment. Like you said, my brain is still processing. Like, is this real? Like, am I dreaming right now? And sure enough, there's Mike and there's Trey and there's Jason, and they're all there. And um man, it was just it's such a surreal moment. But the Billy Joe moment was maybe about 3/4 of the way through the show. They play a song from like one of their way earlier albums, 2000 Light Years Away. And not very many people in El Paso knew this song. It's a deep cut, Not a lot of people in El Paso were like, "Oh my god!" Like they knew the hits, right? But they weren't like
This was
going
a
crazy
deep,
over
deep,
2,000
deep,
light years
deep Green
away.
Day cut.
Yeah,
Deep,
exactly.
deep Green Day cut.
Exactly. And here I am, like thrilled out of my mind and like screaming the lyrics at the top of my lungs. And I'm like the only one. It's like when we went to see that movie that I was talking about the other day, and I was the only person in the whole theater laughing. Like I was the only person screaming the lyrics at the top of my lungs. And Billy Joe looks down at me and he points at me and he goes right on. And then the entire rest of the song, we were eyes locked with each other, singing the lyrics to the rest of the entire song. And I was like, man, that is one of the coolest, my favorite band, one of the coolest experiences at a concert I've ever had. Like I got my Billy Joe moment, right? Like I locked
Indeed.
eyes with Billy and sang the song with him, and it was incredible. It really was. I got a pick from that show too. I got one of Billy's picks. He was throwing picks out, and he like tossed one to me at the end of the show, which is really cool.
Oh, that's fire. I don't even remember the pick part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, the
locked away in
the
my
rail part always sticks out to me, and then the actual moment itself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah, 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 yeah.
I love hearing like when you, especially like when you tell this story to like in passing, like to people, like when you give like the condensed version of the whole experience, right?
Indeed,
Where you're like,
indeed.
I got moved to the front of the line, and as soon as they opened those gates, I was making a beeline for that fucking for that fucking railing. You know what I mean?
Yes, I was running. Oh, I was running so fast, and I looked around. I'm like, why am I running? Like, there's nobody even in here. It's crazy. That
Oh
was a cool
man,
show though too. Like they put on a phenomenal, especially for like a hey, we're trying to knock the dust off and get back out on the road kind of show. Like it was raw punk rock, dude. Like there was a kid that jumped off the balcony, like on Billy Joe's command. Like it was like my
oh
my my
Billy Joe's
40
command.
yeah, my 47-year-old coworkers like crowd surfing in the pit. Like it was
Oh
it
man,
was wild, man. It was wild.
a
Like
lit
it
night
really
in El
was.
Paso for sure.
Indeed. Well, it's cool too because like I like when bands do like a little bit of like colloquial stuff to like where they're at too. Like it's not just we're catering the same show to everybody across the nation. Like we're kind of giving you a little bit of a different, yeah, of a unique experience, I guess if you want to call it that, right? Like Billy Joe was like, I don't really know, and he like somebody was like, play some El Paso, and Billy Joe was like, I don't really know any songs like like specifically about El Paso, and like I don't know if you know the Johnny Horton tunes that came really from like really big time popular with like the Fallout games and stuff like that, like Big Iron. I'm sure you've probably heard that song at least once or twice, like Big Iron, Big Iron. Well, one of the songs
Breaking out the
is like,
pipes today, baby.
indeed, baby, indeed. You know, maybe we should just serenade. That's what we should do for
Oh,
the pod. Maybe we should
I'm not
just serenade
serenading
it.
nobody. I'm not serenading nobody.
I'll get the guitar, baby. You can start singing. We can we can have a rock section. But yeah, there's one of the songs is out in the West Texas town of El Paso, and like it was so cool because it was one of the moments where I kind of also gained a lot more respect for Jason because Billy looked over at Jason and was like, hey, you know, kind of like, I don't know any songs. Like, do you know any songs about El Paso? And then that's when he just kind of like leaned to, dude, so like suave too, like so like debonair, just like leaned into the mic and was like, out in the West Texas town of El Paso, and everybody lost their minds.
You gotta love it when you know like it's gonna kill. You know what I mean? You gotta love it when they're like when they're talking backstage, when they're going over the sets for the night, and they're like, all right, between this song and that song, I'm a bust it out on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's gonna murder, and they're gonna love it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember like having one of those moments where like it didn't necessarily murder the moment, but it murdered the moment for me when we went to see Blink in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And when Mark like went out with the acoustic set and went and stood into the middle of like the amphitheater.
Yeah.
And he played. Oh my god, I can't even remember the damn song off the top of my head.
Everybody had their lights on their cameras. I think I had an actual lighter in my pocket. And I think I was actually holding up a real lighter at that show too. I'm pretty sure.
He played an acoustic version to a song that I cannot remember off the top of my head right now. Oh my god, I cannot even remember. But I just remember being so fucking excited when he started playing it because I had never seen them play that song before, and it was again one of those like. It was like your Billy Joe moment where where it was if you were a hardcore fan you knew the song. Like I said, it was like they were playing Romeo and Rebecca type vibes. You know what I mean? They were playing something mad old, and I was like, "Fuck yes, this is badass!" Like I got so excited.
Yes.
I had to stare at Mark's back the whole time when he was doing that, but I was still super stoked in the moment.
Indeed. Well, and like throwing love to you gotta love when they throw love to the lawn too, right? Like I was actually watching one of their tours because or their newest tour. I watched one of their like whole live sets from maybe 5 or 6 days ago. One of their very first shows that they did on this new tour that they're on right now, and Mark was actually giving love to the lawn too, telling a bunch of like fingering jokes and stuff like that. Like I know what y'all are doing out there, but like he was like talking about the lawn, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool, like throwing love out to the lawn, you know what I mean? Because like they're they bought the tickets too, they want to see the show, like they have the same, they probably have the same love, if not more love than some of the people that are down in front, you know what I mean? So it's cool when they shout love out to the lawn too. You gotta appreciate the lawn seats.
Yeah, like I said, if I'm going to go to a show of that magnitude, I'm typically going to try to get something that's probably not the lawn.
Right.
But I have definitely spent plenty of time in lawn seats myself.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's
one of those things where like it's its own party out there. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's the thing where like I'm not even against doing it today. It's just more or less like, is that the vibe you want? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like I said, for me, I like to go to so many more small shows that when I go to like a bigger show like that, I'm like, like I said, I'm so more particular and picky.
Right.
That's the kind of times where I treat myself and try to get myself a decent ticket, and so that way I can kind of see.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing is, if it's a bigger show like that, it's going to be somebody that is either like an older, an older band,
a deep-rooted love for. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Kind of like when
I probably saw you on the lawn seats before.
Exactly. Like the time that we saw Green Day in like the nosebleeds in DC, right?
One of the best nights of our lives, but like the worst night of my sister's.
Yeah.
She did not know what the fuck was going on in that shit.
I'll never forget your sister just sit down.
Yeah, she was the one person in the whole stadium sitting down being like, what is happening? I don't understand it. Oh man, you try to get your sister on a little bit of culture, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed,
But
indeed.
it was a little too rowdy for her taste.
A little too rowdy for her taste.
She's the kind of person that goes to like see Florence and the Machine shows. So yeah, Green Day was a little excessive for her taste, you know?
Right. She'd be going to the Taylor Swift shows, right? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, she would. I love how you just put that on her.
Hey, she's a Swiftie, bro. She's a Swiftie.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Becca.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of those things, fam, where I've been looking like in the news this week, obviously for like music and stuff for us to bring up in conversation, and it's been kind of a definitely slow week in terms of like really kind of any big news. I mean, there's been like big news that's happened in the last couple of months, like Ozzy Osbourne dying, and you know, stuff like that. But you know, outside of that, you know, there really hasn't been like a ton really going on this week in terms of like music news. I guess I'm just more stoked to go to this upcoming concert right now than anything.
Indeed, that kind of you know, offsets any excitement around anything, especially when it's a big band with, or a big show with two bands that have really meant, well, possibly three, right, that have meant so much to us over the years, right? So it's kind of hard to you know, see, you almost got blinders on, right? Like you're just so excited about the show, like you don't really see all the other stuff that's going on. I mean, other than like, and we were talking about this the other day, but other than like Blink touring again, you know, things like that. I mean, they just started off their new tour. It seems like a lot of bands are kind of like starting off new tours, but they're kind of doing it like kind of clandestine. Like it's not as like huge and out in your face as it is, you know, like the Yellow Card and the Day to Remember show, I think is the one of the only ones that's like bam in your face, like, you know, because I follow them on Instagram, but that's really the only one I think they've really been promoting like crazy. I mean, even the Blink show, like I kind of found the fact that they were touring again by like happenstance, right? So
yeah, I didn't even realize that they were on tour again.
Yeah,
they just came up with that huge world tour for like 2 years, so I thought they were going to be done for a minute.
I don't think they stopped touring. Like ever since Tom joined the band again, I think they've just been on tour. Right?
Yeah, seriously, they've been running through it.
Seriously, which is crazy because like shout out to Travis too, because like the whole reason that like, I mean, when I saw Yellow Card the last time, which is also pretty wild. I mean, you know, you're getting a little older when you start seeing like, oh yeah, I just saw them. That was 2 years ago, right? Like my brother-in-law sent me a photo from, which is a super punk rock photo of me and him at the Yellow Card show in Denver. And I was like, man, this is like my favorite picture of us, and it's like at one of my favorite bands too, and this was such an amazing night for me. And but I was like, man, and then like the top, it was like his like one of his things he has on his phone, right? That's like, hey, either it was a iPhone thing, or maybe it was like a Snapchat thing or something, but it's like, hey, you know, this was this long ago, and it had the date on it. It was like 2 years ago, and I was like, that is crazy. Right? But yeah, like they, even then I remember them talking about on their show, like at the show, they were talking about how, you know, they had a new drummer, and you know, they were kind of going back and forth with different drummers, and like everybody else pretty much was key and solid, but the drummer, they were kind of like, oh well, we're gonna run a tour with this guy now. Oh, we're gonna run a tour with this guy now, right? And then they kind of like, they had been talking about a new album, right? And they were working on some new music, but then you didn't really see anything from them from about, you know, for like 2 years. And then what was that? Maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, where they came out with the new song with the, you know, the Top Gun
right
video and stuff, and they've got the new album and everything. And and then it's like, oh wow, well hold on, Travis was a part of this, and like they kind of have been talking recently too about how like Travis kind of like helped them like jump back into it, and like they're getting back into it. And I'm interested to see. I haven't looked anything up information. I almost kind of wanted to be a surprise, like who's going to be drumming for them now at this show. How crazy would it be if Travis showed up? But I know that's not going to happen. But like, how crazy would it be, right?
I'd be
like
stoked.
Which I wouldn't even put at this point. I wouldn't even put it past him, dude, because of how much he's been doing lately. I don't know how much you've seen about Travis, but man, he is all over the map doing stuff like he's doing his Blink stuff. He's still in the studio making beats. Like he's doing all these. He played with that band Paradox that you've been kind of like promoting on your channel and stuff like that. That opened for Green Day. Like he played a Warp Tour with them. Like he's he did all this stuff with Yellow Card. He wrote this album, and like it's interesting too because every time you watch a interview with Mark talking about Travis, it's like, man, Travis is always working. Like he is always working. He's always in the studio. He's always doing something. So honestly, I wouldn't even put it past him to show up at the show.
Right? Hey, we were just up the way, and I figured I'd just stop in and play tonight.
Right. Got to keep it fresh. Like you're keeping it sideways fresh, my guy. Right? Like.
Yeah, I've said it on my channel a few different times about how he's my goated drummer. Where I'll die on the hill that Travis is my favorite drummer of all time because if he's drumming, I'm interested. And
absolutely.
I still think one of my favorite Blink moments of any show, was the tour that they did. I think was it the Neighborhoods run, where Travis got up on the thing like he was like Tommy Lee, you know what I mean? And it had all the hip hop shit playing as kind of like the intro to the encore where he did like this 5-minute solo.
Yeah.
Stupid fire. I like I said, the beats and the drumming and that like still stand out in my mind being at that venue in Pittsburgh, like watching that happen. Like that's like the big takeaway from that concert for me. Like every like Blink show though, like there was like one thing that really like stood out in my mind like a lot. And like that Travis solo at that show in Pittsburgh that we went to, I thought that shit was like so fire. And when I think about that solo all the time, I just still remember how those fucking snares were oh my god, it was fucking just nasty. It sounded nasty. And we was up in the lawn seats, you know what I mean?
Bro. Seriously, it's funny that you brought this up because I was literally talking to somebody about this like 3 days ago, how it was insane because he was on that platform. They literally picked him up. He was strapped down. They turned him upside down and started spinning him. And he was just going to town on the drums, like insane. And it was so cool because it was like they came together as a band and it was showcasing Travis. It wasn't showcasing the band. It wasn't they let Travis have his moment because he works so hard and he makes all those beats and like none of those beats were Blink-182, any of that. It was hip hop beats and he was tearing it up. And I was like, man, this is one of the coolest experiences. Like when do you get to see the GOAT drummer on a platform, strapped down, upside down, spinning, and still tearing it up, right?
Yeah, basically just doing like a 5 minutes drum solo to like multiple beat changes and tempo changes, and it was just a sick experience.
Yeah,
like I said, like it was completely separate from the idea of like Blink-182. It was just this specific like Travis Barker moment, like where
absolutely.
Our drummer is fucking badass. Like, that's really kind of what that all highlighted and showcased.
We really got the GOAT, baby. We really got, like, that's what they were saying. We really got the GOAT. Like, try us, right? Come try us. Like, my man is upside down, spinning around, tearing it up on the hip-hop beats. Try us.
That guy, I'm determined that I feel like that guy could drum to anything.
He could. He absolutely could.
Like even like when he went through that phase of like just doing all the like marching band shit.
Yeah.
He was just doing nothing but marching band, like just was about it for like 2 years, where it was just like if he was like, I'm gonna learn how to play marching band shit. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I'm gonna be the greatest at it. Right? I'll never forget that one video that he put out.
You hear that, Steve? Look at my eyes, Steve. GOAT.
GOAT. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
But honestly, dude, I was thinking about that with Yellow Card. I'm gonna have to ask you because I know that you're that much more of a stan than I am when it comes to Yellow Card for sure. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, I just got called a stan. I meant that in a positive way. That's
a dirty word in the Foxtrot family, baby.
Indeed. You are You are the super fan. That's what I said. The
Indeed,
super fans are the
indeed,
good ones. The
indeed,
stands are the
indeed,
bad ones. So,
indeed,
as the
indeed.
super fan of Yellow
Thank you,
Card,
thank you.
as the super fan, again, I apologize. I
You
apologize.
good?
I
You
might
good?
as well called you. I don't even know. You know what I mean? But as the super fan of Yellow Card, I don't remember whatever did happen to their original drummer. Like, what was the reason why he left the band, or what was it? Just
I
like he just stepped
I
away,
looked it
or
up. I looked it up, and it was a while ago that I looked it up. I really think it had to do something with just musical differences, and which I think the reason I can't remember as well is because whatever the information was made me sad, and I put it in the back. I locked it up.
You're right. You're right. I don't want to know. You know what I
I don't
mean?
want to
Like,
know. I don't want to remember. I don't want to remember because those dreads, bro, back on the Ocean Avenue album and all those videos. So it was. Mm.
he was a fast drummer, fam, and I feel like
He
that
was.
in terms of like musical differences, that Yellow Card was probably moving too much, maybe in a softer direction.
Yeah,
When those first couple of records, like there was a lot of energy on that shit, so
it
he
was.
still got a chance to like be that kind of fucking guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So.
yeah.
And he definitely was. That's what I'm saying. Like
He was.
he sticks out in my mind so much as their drummer that I know he's not their drummer anymore.
Indeed.
But when I think of Yellow Card, it's very from like a nostalgia perspective where I think about Ocean Avenue. I think about
Right.
Paper Walls. I think
Yeah.
about Lights and Sounds, like those first couple of records when
Yeah.
he was still the drummer. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Where so like he
Indeed.
was the guy. Like the intro to Lights and Sounds, fam. I love.
Right.
I feel like
Right.
that was probably one of those very like first times where like in my mind, like falling in love with like the long drawn out like
Yeah.
drum intro, the way that he did that, and I
Yep.
was like, I just fucking love this shit. I've always been a big fan of like, for me, it's the three simple components, right? You got your guitar, your bass, and your drums. So I try to pay attention to all three of them.
Indeed. Well,
When you got
that's
more than that going on, I'm the whole sound. Then you know what I mean?
indeed,
Like,
indeed. Well, that's what I love about Yellow Card is they have all of that, but they also introduce the um extremely unique, and I would dare to say I don't see any other rock acts, especially not like punk rock acts, or like surf rock acts doing a violin, and like adding that portion of it. And I'll tell you this as somebody who's seen them, multiple times in multiple different settings, seeing that in the incorporation with the violin, like you just think like, the way that the violin makes you feel when it's on the Yellow Card albums, right? But then when you see it live and in person, and like you just see the energy between the band and how well it meshes in there, it's transcendent, bro. Like I don't know
mhm.
how to describe it other than like I can't really say it better than that. It's transcendent. Like it's really cool to just to see it, to see the vibes, to see how well it works and how well it matches and how well he does at it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it fits so perfectly with that music, and I think those are I think some of the violin parts of that are some of my favorite parts of like Yellow Card songs, like because it fits so well and he does such a good job of like fitting it into the music. And just seeing them play together and the way they do it. I don't know. I can't this is one of those moments where words can't really describe it. And like I'm so excited for you to see it like in person live. I can't wait to see your face like and to like experience it with you. You know what I mean? It's a really cool experience. Like especially since we're gonna be so close. Like because when I saw him in Denver the first time at the little tiny venue, man, I can't think of the name of the venue. I want to shout him out. It was such a cool spot. It's like right down from the ballpark too. Right around the corner from where the Rockies play, but and it's a big time name. Anyways, when I saw him there, I was that another show like right up in front. Like I was right close, and um man, it was cool. I saw Ryan before the show too. He was like walking around and like saying hi to everybody and like kind of waving at us and stuff because I was like right in the front because I got there way early for that show. But yeah, it was cool, and like he was, and that's the other thing about it is like he's a lot of bands. I won't say a lot of bands, but like you've been to shows. I mean, I've been to shows, you've been to shows, and like you know when somebody's phoning it in, right? Like you know when
Right.
somebody's like, man, this is the last stop on the tour. I just want to go home, right? And or you also can tell when somebody is like really genuinely into it and into the crowd and like and about that, about that life, giving everybody that same experience. We were kind of talking about this the other day. And Man, it's just the whole, not only the whole band, but like especially Ryan and the violin player, like they get into it with the crowd. Like they're the energy is there. They're amping the crowd up. They're going at it with the crowd, kind of like when we went to see Pierce the Veil, and the one guitar player is, it was like just crazy with the crowd, like getting into it, talking to people, pointing out people, like just, I don't know. I love that energy when bands bring that. Like the fans are there to see them. They know that, and they love the fans just as much as the fans love them, and you can tell. You know what I mean? And I love that energy.
Yeah, I'm stoked about it, man. Every time you've talked about going to see them, it always made it exciting, even though it's been one of those bands where once we kind of got past Paper Walls, it was kind of like a slow hill journey for me in terms of
Yeah,
fandom. But
yeah,
again, like not every album is going to be that. But when we really want to talk about, like, let's be for real. When you gave me like 4 albums that I got like no skips on,
yeah, yeah,
I do got a
yeah,
deep love for you, fam. I
yeah,
really do. So I'm like, I
yeah,
really am looking forward to this show because I haven't
yeah,
got the chance to see them yet.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they
like I
didn't
said,
miss in the beginning. They did not miss.
yeah, and so I think there was a part of me that thought that, like, seeing them go on tours and stuff, that they were going to be playing a lot more of the newer music in the last
Hmm.
handful of albums, and so I was
Hmm.
like, I don't necessarily want to let myself down in that way, where it's like,
Right,
oh, I want
right.
to go see them, but then all of a sudden they played all the songs I didn't really want to hear,
Yeah.
so, but it doesn't seem like, from everything that I've seen and heard from their tours, especially in the last couple of years, because they did the whole, like, we're done, we're retired, we're never doing anything again thing, right?
Right.
So
Right.
since they've revitalized the band this way,
Yeah.
it seems like everything has been like nothing but great experiences, and
Indeed.
everybody's like, yo, you gotta go check them out. So
Indeed. Well,
I'm
that's the
definitely
thing.
looking
Like,
forward to it.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I'm definitely looking forward to, because I already know a Data Member slaps, because
Right.
it's
Right.
not like Jeremy has the most energy up there, but like
Right.
he's like the conductor. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
He's almost
Indeed.
like the conductor of like the fire that's being portrayed on you. You know what I mean?
Indeed. We might die in the pit.
Yes, because me and
Oh,
you have only seen them together
yes.
once,
Yes.
and again, we talked about that a little bit earlier, where we were getting a little rowdy,
A little rowdy.
and the people weren't even there yet.
You
You know what
weren't
I mean?
even
Like, there was a
there.
lot of empty seats, and we was like up and
Right.
down, we was jumping. It was bad.
Yeah.
I think
If
I
they
think I
play Second Sucks or Violence or Sometimes You're the Hammer, it's not going to be good.
Oh my god, if they play Second Sucks, fam.
Yeah.
There's, it's one of those times, fam, where I'm looking at you, I'm thinking right now, I'm like, this is why I love going to shows with you, because it's like,
Yeah.
there's been so many times when we've gone to shows, and like as soon as like somebody started playing like the song, insert whatever band we're at, and
Yeah.
we would just do like one of these,
Right.
like, we just, is it hitting your brain waves the same way it's hitting my? Is it computing to you what's happening right now?
What's happening right now? Ooh, I just got brain slapped. Like, oh
There's a couple of times in my mind that stand out where just, I remember one of my favorite moments of all time was the dreaded red microphone, concert. And Kellen
boy.
got up there and he was talking, and you was already upset. We were both
Already
upset.
upset.
We was both upset because, let's just put it this way, like, the show wasn't exactly the show it should have been in the moment.
My man had
And
a GoPro on the microphone, bro. Like, I might as well have been in a Target commercial.
oh shit.
Uh,
So we were there. We were upset. But then there was a moment towards the end when Kellen started talking. He said, hey, guys. You guys are giving this little speech. And he was like, we know. He didn't really say this part. But he said, this is what I heard. We know our last couple albums have been trash.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going through it lately.
Yep.
Like on the for real. My music,
mm-hmm.
my personal life, all of it. And he said, I'm writing this record. I wrote this record and it's coming out in January. And it's about nothing but songs about me going through the darkest period of time of my life, for the point where I even thought I wanted to take my own life.
Yep.
And you stopped that in your tracks and you moved your whole body to look at my face. Like, did you hear what he just said?
Did you hear what he just said?
It was like in the moment I got so excited for the future, even though the present was such a letdown.
Indeed.
And that album didn't turn out to be fire too. That album did turn out to be fire.
It did. Well, and that's the thing, is I could see the glimpses of, what I wanted from them and the interaction. But I would say at least the first 30 minutes was just I don't even think I remember them saying anything when they came out. I don't think they said anything to the crowd. I don't think they said what up. I don't think if I remember correctly, they just came out and started playing music. And there was no crowd interaction. It was all of their songs from their most recent album that he at the end of the show said, hey, I know this sucks, right? But they were filming the whole thing, and yeah, it was a little too commercial for me. It was a little too commercial. Now, I will say, even though he was wearing a shirt with the red on it at the most recent Pierce the Veil Sleeping with Sirens, Sleeping Pierce the Veil show we went to recently, I will say they did redeem themselves in my eyes. I did really, really enjoy that show, and I was really glad that they were there, and I was really glad I got to see them in that setting as compared to the setting that we saw them in the small venue with the GoPro on the red microphone.
Yeah, that GoPro on the red microphone was pretty brutal, because it was damn, they're live streaming this concert, and
to the microphone, he was singing to the GoPro. He wasn't singing to us; he was singing to the GoPro.
Yeah, we felt very disengaged from what was happening.
Almost like a slap in the face. It was a little rude, honestly.
It did feel weird. It definitely did feel weird. And I'm glad that bands are not doing that kind of shit anymore.
Yeah.
Because they tried it and realized that it's stupid and nobody really wants it or likes it. Especially anybody at the live show. Because like I said, the feedback I'm sure a lot of those bands got was we hated that shit.
Right.
As the concert goers, when that's really where if we're being honest, that's what people are struggling with right now, is getting people to go to live shows. So if you're at the live show, I really don't want you talking to the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When I'm spending this money, bro, right?
Right, I'm here in the flesh right now, and you're talking to the internet right now. Come on, fam.
Right. It's a struggle out here, fam, and I gave you the couple bucks I got to come see you play. I want you to sing to me, bro.
And again, out of my own house, I'm going out of my home, and I'm going out into the world. Finding parking. I'm going through this entire process to come see you in person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm not saying you got to, but you can't be selling to somebody else in the moment. Right. You know what I mean? You got to be selling to the people that are there. If you're having an off day and you can't talk to the crowd, I get shit like that, man. I get people are human, right?
I get it. I get it too, right?
But we were still, we were appealing to an audience that just wasn't the one in the flesh.
Wasn't even there. Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we're done with things like that. I haven't seen anybody do something like that in a long time.
Right. And if I remember correctly, too, that was kind of back in the day before, really before YouTube started exploding. You know what I mean? It was kind of before you even had the Mr. Beasts and the Johnny Foxtrots. It was before you had that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, indeed. It was definitely more when YouTube was still probably, I mean, YouTube has always kind of been a big platform. But in
Yeah,
terms of like you said, like probably like more recognizable household names, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Amongst
yeah,
YouTube, like YouTube was still more of like a place where you could watch videos. But like
yeah,
I was talking to somebody about this the other day when it came to YouTube. I'm like, YouTube is literally like limitless. It can
yeah.
be any kind of content you want it to be, and
Literally.
anybody can make it.
And you can
So
learn
it's
anything you want to on there now too. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, your algorithm is definitely designed for you as the individual, but you could
right,
literally like use YouTube to go find out whatever you want about anything. Like it could
right.
be any kind of entertainment to you. It's like
Yep.
basically the limitless entertainment and or learning. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
everything.
There's a lot of people that cater specifically to that too. Like there's a lot of those channels like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do this, right? Like I'm gonna teach you how to like work on cars and like, I'm gonna teach you to do how everyday stuff, you know what I mean? Or like fishing or like tutorials on, baking things, making things from scratch. Like it's crazy how much information is out there on there now, and you could probably type in, you could think of the craziest term you want to, craziest like string of words, put this craziest string of words you've ever thought of together and type it in and it will come up with something. Right, like it's insane how much info is on there now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I feel like this has been a good first episode
Yeah, absolutely.
of the
Yeah,
podcast. I'm definitely appreciating the idea of us talking more about music specifically.
me too.
Hopefully, some of the listeners out there listening can give us some topic ideas in the comment section. You know, if they come
Absolutely, we want
across
to
some
hear it.
things that they want us to talk about for sure.
Yeah,
Again, we're trying to keep our ears to the streets of what's going on in the music world, and we'll try to talk about those things that are happening as they're happening. But yeah, I feel like we still have some things to dive into. Like we need to talk
absolutely.
about Linkin Park.
Yes.
We need to talk about. I think we need to dive into Blink 182 a little bit more. 'Cause I want to talk about that book. I think a little bit too.
Yeah, we do. We do need to dive
Yeah,
into the Blink 182. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure people are going to ask me to talk about Ronnie Radke at some point because
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm
I'm sure we got some locked and loaded for that too. I'm sure you got some locked and loaded for
Yeah,
that.
I could talk for an hour and a half about Ronnie Rack, about all three of those subjects we just talked about. I could talk for an hour and a half about all those just
Indeed.
on its own. So,
Indeed.
but yeah, hopefully there'll be some more music news. Hopefully not negative, but some
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting
Hopefully
news
some.
at least, right?
Hopefully some interesting positive stuff indeed will be coming out. Well, and like we were just talking about a minute ago too. There's a lot more. There's a lot more bands that are kind of like covertly, starting to tour again and stuff. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some stuff coming down the pipeline here soon. And it seems like a lot of people are kind of quietly putting out new albums and things like that too. So, shout out to Good Charlotte. Ooh, Good
Indeed,
Charlotte.
I still haven't dug into that Good Charlotte album yet. I've
Gotta
only
do
listened to that song they did with Petty Hendrix, and that shit was fire. But I've heard some snippets of the rest of it, so I gotta definitely check out this Good Charlotte. I've been sleeping on it.
You got to dive in, baby. You got to dive in. It's good.
I know. I love
It's good.
GC, but I'm too busy trying to support the guy who you don't know their name yet. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Like
Indeed.
whatever that
Indeed.
guy, girl, band,
Yeah.
whoever is.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying. That's
Well,
who I'm so focused on.
well, I'll try to hold you down on the big guys, baby. While you keep holding it down for the underground.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's like I
Indeed.
said, I have such a hard time remembering each band's name, each artist's name, each
Yeah.
song that I've heard. But because I listen to so much music on these streams and stuff like that, like but there, I'm I feel grateful because I feel like I come across such great artists and bands every day that it just feels a lot. It feels good to see the community get behind an artist that they like. You know what I
Well, that's what I
mean?
love about coming on your live streams too. Is like not only like do you have sometimes you have like the artists themselves come into the stream and like the not only do they show love in the chat, but I mean these people in the Foxtrot family are literally going and they're liking these videos and they're adding. I mean, um, shout out to Maul. I saw the other day like oh, I'm adding this to my playlist. I'm adding this to my playlist. Like I'm adding this, you know what I mean? And like those are the kind of things that really help promote those artists. And I shout out to you each video. I mean, I see you going on and adding the likes to the comments and trying to help that boost. Just share the love, spread the love. Cause it's like, we all want to eat. I want us all to be able to eat together. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of this whole thing was just music is such a big platform that could save the world if given the opportunity, right? And I love that you have the platform that you do because you get to help push that and drive that, right? And that's so cool. It really is. And you get to talk about music. This is what we love, right? This is, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
huge part of our lives. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge part of our lives, right? Like we get to, and that's what you get to do. You know what I mean? And now we're doing this podcast and we get to do it together as best friends. And I don't know. I'm kind of fangirling on us right now.
Oh no, no, you're totally cool, bro. You're totally cool. I appreciate the kind words about the channel and all that for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just been wonderful to really just watch the community grow, and it's always exciting when you just see an artist pop up in the stream and you see like 5-10 people that just get like super stoked about like, holy shit, I needed this song today. It's instant fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, and then like, a lot of times they're the ones who are gonna go dig that much deeper and find out that they love that band so much more. And so like, just being able to again have this place where we're just kind of constantly trying to uplift these artists and spread the love of just the awareness of their music and to the next person that will fall in love with them, because I feel like it happens one person at a time. And like you said, if we would all lead with love a little bit more, I think the world would be a better place. So
it really would be. Yeah, it really would be. And music could be that driver, right? Like it could be if given the opportunity, it could be that driver.
Indeed, there's a lot of things if we would just come together, and I feel like music is one of those ways where, as humans, it has been the most universal way for us to be able to communicate. So,
yeah,
because I feel like music is a form of love, and I feel like love is the most universal language that way.
It is. Well, and it breaches all borders, right? It speaks where a lot of times humans we get caught up in our own words or our own shame or our own shyness, right? Like we get caught up in that and we don't say the things that we mean. Whereas music penetrates it all. Like it penetrates the deepest levels of our souls and our hearts, and I mean those vibrations and everything like that. And it kind of penetrates all that, and it surpasses all of that stuff. And it's a way that you can communicate with each other without saying words, and that's what I love about it. Like that's one of the many things I love about music. But yeah, completely agree with you there, Kieran.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if you agree with me, that's probably a great place to end the episode.
Indeed. Well, I disagree with you. We gonna keep on going.
Well, that's all right. We're going to definitely be back at the same time next place, same time, same place next week. Because again, we're going to keep this train running. Like I said, like they better get used to our faces, baby.
Oh.
They better get used to our faces and our voices because we out here going to be talking about this music. You know what I'm saying? Whether they want to hear it or not, we're going to be talking about it.
We're going to be talking about it, whether they want to hear us or not. Don't even say it, baby.
Don't even say it.
Don't even say it.
We worked it in right at the end. We worked it right
we worked it in. Typical. Now we're sleeping with sirens with red microphones. Great.